Hey everybody, you're watching Cole the Corn Star. Today we're going to be breaking up into two teams, Team Harvest and Team Construction. Team Construction is going to consist of Roman. He is going to be working in the underground movie theater, and he is going to be digging more underground movie theater concrete footings. And then on Team Farming, we have my dad, my brother, Zach, Ricardo, and me. We are combining corn, so I'm going to be in a semi, my dad's going to be in a semi. Ricardo is in the John Deere, and then Zach is in the big grain cart, and then my brother is running the combine. So we are working on the farm that we call Bill's. So there's about 80 acres left over here on these hills. Once we get this done, then we are going to go to the other end of the field. This field is a half of a square mile, and the other side of it is Kristen and Rusty's. So we should have a good full day's worth of work here. If we have an absolutely phenomenal day, I'm talking like the best day we have ever had on the farm, we will get this field done. The whole harvest crew got started before I got here, and they already got me full. So, whoa, we are full. Okay, we're gonna go dump. Coming into the dryer shack, we got two things to do in here. First thing that we do, we write down our load. So this is the one that we're bringing in, second load of the day. And then we come over here, and then we need to hit start on this. Once that turns green, okay, we're good. Things are turning on. Let's get things opened up. While I wait for the semi to finish emptying, my sunglasses are starting to get pretty dirty, kind of hard to see through, so we're gonna clean these things up quick. There we go. It's like a new pair of shades. If things keep running good today, we're gonna be like a well-oiled machine. As I'm just pulling off the pit now, Dad is pulling on with the next semi, so we're pretty much back to back to back to back to back. If things go well, honestly, the pit here should really never have to shut off. We just keep loads fed. On Bill's farm today, we are rocking Champion Seed 62B21. That is our corn hybrid. So these are some really nice ears. This was averaging 248 bushels as of yesterday. But when I made a pass across the field right here where we are, I did not see my monitor drop below 265. So we could be in a super high yielding area right here, which is absolutely phenomenal. And here comes Zach with, well, he's got 62,000 pounds of corn on him. Just look at that thing. Mega ear. See if we can time this right. See what I mean? Dad's just behind me.
Good morning, good morning. We're back at it, and I hope it's gonna be the last day of digging the trench for the footer, and Lord willing, we can do it today. So what we have going on is there will be a lot of processes all at once. It's not gonna be just digging alone, then gravel alone, then trimming with a shovel alone. It's gonna be section by section from start to finish, because every little section will not allow for equipment to go in if we dig everything at once. So the track hoe is here, everything needs to be finished, the trench dug in, the pad needs to be scraped down, the rock needs to be brought in and then moved away. And then the same thing for this section here, and the same thing for the last section over here. So there will be a lot of me bouncing back and forth, because everything has to happen from start to finish on each section. Down in the trenches, to give you a little bit more of a visual what's happening here. See, we have some water issues here, and we're actually like 2 months into somewhat a drought, and we still have water here. So the way we're addressing it, we're actually digging even deeper underneath the footer and then putting the layer of rock, because if we just lay footer on top of it, there'll be a direct contact with that footer, which we don't want, and that rock is gonna be serving as a filtration pad that can take water through into our tile, because the tile starts right here. You can see the edge of the rock, so actually all this water is draining down in there, but we don't want the direct contact of the bottom of the footing with the water. So I'm down to working with a shovel quite a bit, and I actually even brought the leather gloves because from the shoveling I'm started getting all the blisters, and that's what we're gonna have to do quite a bit today. Lots of shoveling, scraping, packing, and moving around. So let's put our gloves on, grab the shovel, and clean up this area right here.
Me this, please. We are in the middle of a cornfield right here. This is cornfield. It has been cornfield for a long time. How is there a tree growing right here? That makes no sense. Let's go see what's going on in the neighborhood right now. So we got Cooper and Zach right here while Ricardo's right in front of us. And then Zach and Cooper are combining some corn. Well, Zach looks like he is on the way over to me to fill up the semi so that way I can go dump it. And then we got Cooper behind him. So the corn on the left is Champion 62B21, and then the building site right on the back side, that one right back there, if I can figure out how to zoom in on it, that is Kristen and Rusty. So we have some more corn back there. So all that corn back there is ours. Looking in the neighborhood, we are not the only ones running right now. Looks like we got another neighbor over here, if I can find them. They're running a John Deere combine. You can see their grain cart sitting right there. Where's the combine at? That thing is hiding. Oh wait, oh there it is. It's just dusty. Then we got another neighbor over here running. That white building in the background is the main heated shop, so they're running just behind the house. Looks like they're buzzing along nicely. They're not messing around at all. These are actually the neighbors who live right beside us. This is Rick and Jeff. I believe Rick is in the combine, Jeff is in the grain cart. I don't really know their dynamics, so I can't say for sure, but that would be my guess. We're coming over campground right now, and then we are just straight up ahead, right on top of the hill, right there. So Zach is filling me as we speak. And by the way, the reason why we call campground is because of right here. Cooper built a little camping spot, so that little shed has wood in it, and then they built a deck so that they could pull their camper up, and then when you walk out of the camper, then you could hang out on the deck. They don't use it anymore, but the name just kind of stuck, so that's why we call it campground. And it looks like we are full in the semi, so we're gonna take off. Ooh, that grain cart moves fast.
The shoveling is done. Now I'm gonna move on to scraping this down so we can put our 6-inch of rock. So it means the rock is gonna be next. Rock for here and rock for there. And after all this is rocked, we can move on to the next section. So lots of bouncing around like I was saying before. We're getting closer to the end of our trenches. We have one edge going this way, another one going that way. That's where they're gonna meet. But unfortunately, we're running out of room, so I cannot drive any further away. So we need to take care of this pile and take this dirt out of here. And after that, we'll be able to proceed digging this out. So there's an outline of our corner. That's all gonna be gone and flat in one level.
Looking at some absolutely beautiful corn, got some nice big kernels, good condition. That is what we like to see. It sounds like we got out of the Champion 62B21, and that was testing anywhere from 14.5 to 15% moisture. We moved over into this other hybrid, and this is 114 day. That was a 112 day over there. And this stuff is like 20%, so we cannot put this straight inside the bins like we can when it's at 15%. So it sounds like Cooper combined about a semi-load of it at 20%. We're gonna put it in the overhead and just try to sprinkle it into the stuff that's like 14.5, 15%, and then it'll just, but that extra moisture will just dissipate into the stuff that's under 15%, and it may bring it up to 15%. So we will be absolutely fine. But that means that we are going to leave about 50 acres or so. Maybe there's a little bit more right here, but we're gonna leave this, let the wind keep blowing through it, let the heat work on it to let it dry down, and we're going to the other end of the field. So we're done with Bill's for right now until that gets dry. So we're headed over to Kristen and Rusty's. So instead of putting grain over in that far bin right now, we just switched some stuff over here on the top of the leg, and now we're going to be dumping in this overhead. So then when we come on with other loads later, when we're dumping back into that bin over there, then we can just slowly start spiking this off just a little bit at a time. We are now moved over here to the other end of the square mile. So this is Kristen and Rusty. Zach is getting ready to dump on me, and Brandon from Champion Seed is going to come out and ride with me. So Cooper and I are going to switch positions in the combine. Brandon rode with me for almost 3 hours, and he was holding the camera hostage the entire time. So Brandon is now leaving, and then we can get back to harvesting corn. All right, thanks for Brandon.
Yeah, we'll see ya.
See ya. Woo! I did not think he was ever going to leave. I'm just kidding. I like Brandon. We had a really good conversation. Brandon is a lot more like me than I realized. We think a lot about business and improving, learning new things, learning how to interact with people. Financial stuff is very interesting for both of us, and he also likes farming. So we were like two peas in a pod, or two bros in a combine cab. We need to think of a good mantra of two people in the combine cab. If you got anything, comment down below. Got an extra sub at lunchtime. I robbed it, brought it up here in the combine with me. This thing is coming in perfect right now. I'm really hungry.
Ladies and gentlemen, the digging is done. Unless something changes again, but look at this. We're finally done. Everything is Nice and level, squared off, dug to the elevation needed. And the last thing that we need to do is actually get rid of that little pile.
The sun is at the perfect place in the sky right now. When you sit back, you see right in the eyeball. So good thing we got this. It's doing a really good job of blocking that down so that way I can see. We got a little bit of dust and we got a little bit of dust caking our windows. So that is adding another little layer of difficulty, but really the conditions that we're running in right now are about next to perfect. This is absolutely beautiful. For whatever reason, the height control system on the corn head is not wanting to work for me. Luckily, we're in a pretty flat area of the field right now, so there's not a whole lot that I have to do, but I do have to remember that when the field starts to change in elevation a little bit, I need to be paying attention because I have to hit some buttons right here with my thumb to make sure that we're following contour of the ground and not sticking one of our snoots in the dirt and then ripping it off, because every time you rip off a snoot, it's about 500 bucks. So if we can eliminate some $500 unnecessary expenses, we're doing our job well. Filling up another grain cart. It is not taking long on these nice long straight rows, and it is yielding absolutely phenomenally. It doesn't take long to get a load. We're averaging about 3,000 bushels an hour right now, and we've been pretty much averaging that for all day. Tonight is just one of those nights where it is absolutely beautiful and the corn harvest is going smooth, so this is extremely enjoyable. It's like taking a vacation while getting to work at the same time. It's actually really enjoyable. I say that kind of jokingly there, but I'm working right now, but I'm serious. This feels like vacation. We've been working all year and doing a lot of preparation to get the crop to this point, and so now we get to sit back and enjoy the fruits of our labor. And when I was a little boy, some of my earliest memories are running around with Dad in the combine, and that was where I got to spend a lot of time with my dad, because my dad worked a lot when I was a little boy. We work a lot now still, but we work together, so we're with each other every day. But when I was little going to school, a lot of times during the last quarter of the year, the only time I really got to be with my dad was on the weekends or after school when I was riding in the combine. And this brings back a lot of those memories. When I was little, we did not have a buddy seat like this one has. We had a water jug that you could sit on right down there and kind of bump your back on this. And then there was a little cubby behind the seat where when I was really little, I could lay down. But I guess now we have a bigger, more luxurious cab. This is just, it's a good time. Brings back a lot of memories and it's a lot of fun. And then you add in all the technology and everything else, being able to see all the engine diagnostics and how everything is going, being able to look up in the grain tank with the video camera and see how full we are, so that way we don't have to worry about running over. And then being able to look up here and track our yields through the field and see our instant averages for how the field is performing. That is absolutely phenomenal. And not only that, we are looking at some of the best corn that I have ever seen in my entire life. This is honestly probably the best corn we have ever harvested. Ever. Ever. And just pair that all together, it's a beautiful thing. Hey, look at that! At 202 acres, that signifies 100 acres for the day. We started at 102 this morning, so we have hit our acre goal for the day, which is awesome. And it looks like we still have about an hour and a half left before we're at our time goal. So we are making some good little progress. So we are just now finishing up the little area up here by the road. That's why I'm only taking 7 rows right now. And then we are going to start cutting open a new spot. Zach has 54,920 pounds on him, so he is just a hair shy of 1,000 bushels. 1,000 bushels would be 56,000 pounds. We just are coming up on 9 o'clock now, so this is everything that we have done over here. So these little triangles, not triangles, man, you can tell we have been running for a long time. That is clearly a rectangle. These rectangles right here are what we have left. So this is what we have left on Kristen and Rusty's side, and then this little bit right here was the stuff that was getting up around 20%, and then this is on Bill's end. But as we can see, we are narrowing this down quick, and it's super interesting looking at this yield map, seeing the areas that were the really high yielding spots. That's the dark green, and then over here on Kristen and Rusty's end where we have the dark green. So historically, according to corn suitability ratings, this area over here is almost a 100. It's like a 95, which is really, really prime ground. And then this area over here is like 80. And so it's just interesting seeing how it does not necessarily correlate to being a higher yield just because it has a higher productivity index behind it. So that just goes to show the numbers are absolutely not everything. And to be completely honest, this has been an underdog farm for us, and it just, well, it's an underdog on paper, but it always just seems like it performs. But we're gonna turn this monitor off here so that way we can get our files sent up. We're letting the engine cool down right now. We got a little over 100 acres done today, which is absolutely phenomenal. We've been averaging almost 12 acres an hour while we're running, so things are running smooth. We got all the semis full tonight. I don't know how many loads they got out today. Probably, well, if we did over 100 acres and it's averaging 247 bushels per acre, we definitely had over 25 semis out of the field today, which is just mind-blowing, to be completely honest. We brought all the semis back here to the farm. Dad's got the first one empty. I got the second one. We're gonna, oh, we need to pull forward. We might be okay. We might be okay. And then Zach's gonna be pulling in with the third one here in just a minute. Just like clockwork, got Zach pulling in. We're probably half empty now in the front. Maybe not even that. Man, that corn's nice and warm. Dad's gonna stay here and get the rest of these semis emptied while Ricardo, Zach, and I run out to the field. We have 2 pickups out there that we need to get that we don't want leaving out all night. Woo. Check the back seats for raccoons. This is a list of what truck took a load in, what time it took it in, and then what load it was for the day, and then when drivers switched. So we had a total of 27 semis today. For harvest supper tonight, we got ourselves some rice, some baked potatoes in the slow cooker, got some carrots, and then there's little chunks of roast in there too. Delicious. And then for dessert, we have some whole milk Greek yogurt with orange juice. Oh, so there we have it. We are 3 days into corn harvest now, 34% done, and we're about 30 days ahead of schedule from where we normally are. So things are going pretty good, but I am now tired. Dad actually just went to bed, so I'm gonna finish up some stuff here on my computer, and then I'm also going to call it a night. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.